and welcome to the Friday, June 17th episode of whatever the hell you want to call it now. Let me go and get everything synced in here together. Oh, there's that. We'll clicky on that. Throw up a like. Put up a PSA. And share this hush puppy out. Hey Justin, good to see you, bud. Hey Jan, hey Jay, good evening to you guys. Hope you're doing well tonight. Getting ready for tomorrow night. Getting anxious. Getting anxious. Like I told you guys before, it is going to be the Winchester house in Elkhart, Indiana. No relation to the Winchester repeating arms family that we know of. That we know of. I was told there was no relation, but Winchester just is not an average everyday name. There has to be some kind of something somewhere along the family line. But, I'll give you guys a little bit of background on that place. It was built in 1905, and the original owners was Charles H. and Elizabeth Winchester. He was the president of First National Bank. Hey, Terry, good to see you. Ian. They had one daughter, Nellie, who married a William H. Knickerbocker. And she became quite eccentric in her older age. When William died, she went out and bought. Hey Tony, good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. When William died, she went out and bought this very fancy casket for him. And the more she sat and looked at this casket, the more she had to have one herself. She became infatuated with this casket and bought one and put it in the center foyer of the house until she died in 1947. The house sat empty for several decades, and the stories of the hauntings in this house were so intensive for a town the size of Elkhart that to sources that have had contact with the house and stuff, no one has entered that house the entire time it was abandoned. People were afraid to enter that house. So, we'll see. Supposedly, Nellie haunts that house. So we will definitely be finding out tomorrow night if Nellie Knickerbocker is still living in the Winchester mansion. Oh, let me see here. Catch up on some of these folks. Terry's here. Ian, Jay, Jan, Tony, Justin. Okay, I got everybody. Good. I don't know if the Winchesters are in Silverbrook or not. I don't know if they're married in Silver or if they're buried in Silverbrook or if they are in one of the Elkhart cemeteries. I will be finding that out when I meet the new owner of the mansion tomorrow evening. Didn't really have much planned for tonight. Just promised you guys a live stream. I was going to hang out with the wife since I'm going to be gone tomorrow night, but, you know, she went and picked up my, hey, Candy, good to see you, love. I don't know if they're buried on the property or not. I do not know. I do not know the whereabouts of their immortal or their mortal shells. I have no clue. Good evening, KG. Good to see you, love. Like I said, I will be finding all that out tomorrow when I talk to the current owner. The house was actually just up for sale last year, and someone picked it up and purchased it. There for a while, it was a doctor's office and residence. There were multiple doctor's offices in this place. It's actually really big. And then multiple residencies for the doctors, nurses, things like that. So they have slowly remodeled it into a single family dwelling. So it's going to be real interesting to get in there and check it out. And in the hospital now, I broke my ankle. How did you broke your ankle? How in the world did you break your ankle, KG? That is terrible. I was trying to put up my curtains and fell out of the chair. Well, you know, they say 80-some% of injuries occur in the home. 79% of injuries occur amongst our group, but 80% of injuries occur in the home. Wow. You poor thing. I can't believe that. I bet it does. I bet it does. I've been real lucky. I've never had a broken anything. I've been thrown off a horse and all kinds of stuff, and I have never had a broken anything. I've fallen out of trees, had walk boards on ladder jacks slide out from under us, or the ladders start sliding along the overhang on the building, and the walk board and everything fall. I've been real lucky. Never had a broken anything. Your first broken bone. Well, you started off right, I guess. I bet it does. Now you get to find out what it's like to possibly be in a wheelchair, most definitely be on crutches for a while that heals up. Oh hell, I broke a lot of old bones. I know I keep tempting fate, bragging about the fact I've never had a broken bone. And one of these days, the fates are going to catch on to it, and they're just going to shake their head and say, whoosh, I'm going to break my leg, or break my ankle, or break a toe, break a finger, something. Oh, the way I hit the floor at the hospital here a few weeks ago when I went in there for the blood clot thing, I think I broke my head when I fell backwards when I passed out. I'm still having headaches from it. Not as bad, but they're there. And there are days I don't even want to open my eyes. Broke bone hurts like a mother effer. I broke shoulder, broke wrist. Both were never fixed. Putting you in a walking cast or fiberglass. I'm gonna fiberglass her up. Yeah, believe it or not, the thickest part of the head goes from the brow line up to right before the crown. That is much thicker right there than the rest of the skull. The back of the skull and right back here on that spot right behind your ear, you can follow it around your ear and feel the soft spot at your temple, and then move backwards, and you can follow that line right there. That is all reasonably thin bone. Um, Only about 2/3 the thickness of the forehead. And they said I was standing up straight, and I went straight back and hit that concrete floor. So luckily it was the band on this hat that where I hit at. So I think the most painful was the ribs. Now, I bruised ribs before, but I've never broke any. I broke a foot, my elbow, 2 fingers. I'm allergic to fiberglass, so I had to have plaster. Wow, ouch. Oh, God, I feel for KG right now. And here she was just the other day talking about here in a few weeks going up to spend some time with Wookie. Now he's got to be careful of her. Oh, tell me about it. Breathing with bruised ribs is a huge pain in the butt. Well, looky there. It's Ty. He was too good to come in and join us this morning, so he come in tonight instead. Howdy, Ty. Hope you're doing good today. Hello, Sonny. Good to see you as well. Man, I'll tell you guys what, you You think I was excited about going and doing that City of David 2 weeks ago? I am pumped over the Winchester mansion. No one has ever done an investigation there before. And we have got most of the normal guys y'all see in an investigation. Plus, we're pulling in a few from around the world. We'll just put it that way. We got some very special guests popping in from out of the country. So it's going to be real interesting. Hi, Richie. Good to see you. Hope things are going well for you over on the west side. Yeah, really, Ty. You shouldn't stay up so late gaming. Come on. There you are. Who that? Who that? Okay. I slept through the morning stream. Haven't slept like that in many years. I wish I could sleep like that. I really honestly do. We'll hit the like button and share. Not really much to share tonight. You know, I told you guys about what happened to the Van Buren County Museum. We're getting ready for the Winchester Mansion investigation tomorrow. Not really much else to share. Things are so there. What's going on, bud? Talk to your Uncle Drew. What is wrong? Why are things just so? Yeah, it's very sad. I was looking forward to going back there myself. Um, Danny was working on getting the groups, our own individual investigations so we could get more familiarized with the place. And that way we could, do our own tours um, that night when Ghost-A-Rama was over. And there's a lot of very important pieces in that place. And this is one of them situations where I wish I was very, very wealthy. Um, I would pay for the roof out of my own pocket, just to get it fixed and get all those artifacts back in there, um, and out of the heat and the humidity and everything. So those things could live for another 100 years. Um, but what do you do? What do you do? Um, Oops, I had to open my windows for cool air. Not here. It's 76 degrees. It's 3 degrees warmer outside than what we keep the house. And if we turn the air off in here, it'd be about 85 in no time, even with the windows open. So don't ever buy a modular home. Get a regular stick-built house. Well, things are starting to go great, actually. Getting a surprise birthday present Wednesday. Just waiting to film in Michigan. And waiting to hear back on a couple places to move, house and apartment. Very cool. News can't get much better than that. And I wouldn't call that an early birthday present. I mean, she comes over all the time, dude. You've unwrapped that present more times than most people have unwrapped lunch meat in their life. Let me see here. '88 and fairly nice. Oh, is that why she wanted to go back down there on Wednesday? Now I understand why she wanted to make a second trip down. Hey, Buck. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well tonight. I may very well have to go beat some kids up, so if I jump up and start yelling, y'all will understand why. There are times I really honestly wish that I had a trip hammer laying around this place so I could just start swinging it viciously. She's getting a dress and a couple other things too, but she is looking forward to filming in Michigan as well. Very cool. Very cool. Looks like you might not only have yourself a happy good time buddy there, but also a filming partner, which is always good. little booger was tickling my lip. Don't like my lip tickled. Well, not by tobacco. Very cool. How's he doing, Sonny? I'm planning on calling my mom and daddy tomorrow before I head out for that investigation. I always do. Oh yeah, most definitely Sunday is Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all you daddies. Good, not very talkative. Probably did too much today. Yeah, you know how them older fellers can be. They don't like being told they can't do stuff, so they go out and they push themselves, and then they pay the price that evening and probably most of the next day when they're exhausted and their body hurts and they think to themselves, no, why did I go do that yesterday? And then the next time a chance arises to go out and do something like that, they jump right on it and go do it again. Just like my dad does. 81 years old and still don't believe in limitations. Well, until he's flat on his back on the couch for 4 or 5 days, then he believes in limitations. But then when he gets the chance to do it again, he goes and does it again and then pays the price again. Well, her and I were talking about me and you doing a short film. She figures 2 cameras recording at the same time would be better. There's always that possibility. Oh my God, my sister was mad at me. He changed his front tractor tire, didn't ask for help from her husband. Sounds to me like a great big truckload of ornery, is what he sounds like. Hold on. It's time to go beat some children's. Listen real close. You might actually hear this. Let me flip this puppy up this way. Swing it back around that way. On the house and all the windows and doors intact, please. Or I'm going to skin your ass and I'm going to pin you to the outside of the door frame to block the heat. Oh yeah, violence. I'm going to use gang footage as audiobooks. I don't want to hear witness violence. I open the door and all I see is the wife's 13-year-old nephew and our 13-year-old daughter in a death grip. Hands up in the air, fingers entwined, just squeezing on each other. And he keeps jerking her back because he only outweighs her by probably 3 times her body mass. Kid took karate, plays football, everything else. He's a little badass. All I saw was her foot coming up and kicking him in the breadbasket. And all of a sudden he decided it was time to let go and start guarding his midsection. He looked at me, he said, "Whew, huh, that hurt." I'm like, yep. 3 inches lower, bud. She would have been right in your Franks and beans. Hey, fishing, Caucasian, good to see you guys. Hope y'all are doing well today. It wasn't that bad here. Like I said, by 7:30 or 7 o'clock this morning, it was mid-60s. We're at 76 degrees right now. It's our coolest day this week. And I guess it's supposed to be cool again tomorrow and maybe Sunday, and then Monday goes back up or something like that. I don't know. My internet is crazy. I know my messenger has been going crazy for the last couple of days. For some reason, I don't know why, but the pictures and everything, if you have Messenger, you're familiar with it. If you don't, you won't understand what I'm talking about. But beside each quote from the person you're talking to is a little picture of them, their little thumbnail photo. And then up at the very top is a larger one with their name beside it. And for some reason, all week long, it seems like these things just constantly blink. It's never done that before. So it's like every 15 or 20 seconds, they'll all blink on and off, and like a light bar running down. Busy banking, game footage. Gonna be cool here all weekend. Just shared a screenshot of the group chat. Mine locked me out. Sounds like everybody's been staying busy. This thing lagging behind again. It sure enough is. How's everything down there in Georgia, Mr. Fishing? I mean, besides sultry. Trying to get someone to do since no one else would. I Am, one of my favorite books. Interesting. Hey, Dev. Good to see you, bud. You're traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. A journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. You have entered the Twilight Zone. Good, just too hot. It's 105 in the building today. Glad I only worked 3 days. Today was your first day back, wasn't it? Don't you do Friday, Saturday, Sunday? And then you're off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Isn't that how it goes? Or is it, I don't know. You've got a cool ass schedule though. I'll tell you what. Any day that you can work, or any time you can work 3 days a week and have 4 days off, that's pretty cool. Public domain is a glorious thing. Dude, tell me about it. I love public domain. No, I understand that, Sonny. If I didn't have Messenger, I'd be in a world of hurt because we use Messenger. I use it not only to talk to my son down in central Indiana, but I use it, my wife and I use it for emergency communication when she's going to and coming from work to let me know if she has any extra stops and stuff to make. We use it to communicate within the group about our investigations and things like that. So yeah, definitely so. To lose Messenger, that would be rough. If this works out, I'll have a redonkulous library. There's nothing wrong with redonkulous, bud. Heck yes, work about 150 days a year, can't read it. No, 150 days a year and make great money. And to schedule appearances on, yeah, and see, that's something I have missed out on is, scheduling guests and stuff like that, which as soon as I can get the StreamYards and stuff back up and rolling again, we are going to get back to scheduling guests when I'm here on a Friday night. Absolutely. Yeah, most people work 150 days a year. It's called a part-time job. You work 150 days a year and it's a full-time job with full-time pay and full-time benefits and all those other full-time niceties that a lot of people don't get. And you get to stay right there close by home now. There is no more of that travel in the country stuff with your job. So, but you were damn good at it, and I'm sure they miss you. I had a similar schedule, but night shift. I love my jobs. Yeah, there are a couple of cute little jobs. 2 cute little blonde full-time jobs. Back in the day of having little kids, I'd work 340, 350 days a year. Wow. I get moonburned. real quick. I'm going to pin this to the top. Alright, and then we send that up, and then we pin it. It sucked, but such is life. 4 more hours of filming and I can assemble the footage. Very cool. I have never heard of that before, so that's actually very interesting. I had a business and worked over 800 days straight. Having a business is overrated. Oh yeah. I worked way too much in my life and I'm paying for it now. It's the American way. You're not kidding there. Doing research on a few mythological creatures here, never knew about Old Yellowtop. What is Old Yellowtop? I've never heard of that. If a person goes to a historical landmark, don't you have to get like permits from the Historical Society of that area and go to the city for what, Ty? To film? To do a video on it? To film it? To paint it? What? I'm going to collage the first one, but after Pirates of Ursats, I'll do games that fit the book. Oh no. It's public site, bud. It's public site. You don't need to get any permits or permission from anyone to film there. The only questionable thing is filming the people. Now you can go around, you can write their names down and things like that. Tell them, okay, I'm filming a history video on this location or on this person or whatever. I may capture you in the video, but I'm more than happy to take your name down and actually mention you at the end of the video. So here in Ontario that has a yellow head of hair. Breast is brown or dark. Never heard of that before. Then what are the permits for? No clue. I've never heard of getting permits. Now, if you're going to be doing like a large-scale filming project, filming a movie, filming a major documentary, something like that, then yeah, you have to get permits. or at least get permission from those sites when you've got like a large film crew and you're out walking on the sites and things like that. But as long as you're filming a small grade video or a small grade docu video, then no, you don't need to worry about permits and stuff. Yeah, now see, that's another thing. You get permits, special permission for filming after and before hours, things like that. But we were well known when we were filming out there at Gettysburg, and there were federal employees all around, state and federal employees, and we never once got questioned about anything. But of course, you know, we're all by the book, by the book, by the book. You know, if it's closed from 10 o'clock at night until 6 a.m. in the morning, then we are technically off the grounds by 5 minutes till 10 and don't show back up till 5 minutes after 6 a.m. Because we didn't get or any permits or special permission to be on the sites. Okay, I guess that's where I was in the gray area. If you have a paid crew or interfere with anything or clearances for any pyrotechnics. Yeah, that too. So don't go and blow shit up. Don't block traffic. And you should be good. No large vans full of extras and film crew and set pieces. No large caravans of buses, campers, or tractor trailers. And yeah, you should be good. I'm pulling at straws at this point because I've never got permits or permission to film on a site like that. I'm just tugging at straws at this point. I got no clue what the hell I'm even talking about. Yeah. None of that. Yeah. Thank you, Tony. None of that. You know, hey, I'm filming here. Get out of the way. You know, that's just. But you know, technically, you don't even have to get people's. You don't have to have people sign a release to be caught on film. You just have to get their permission and put their name down, and then credit them at the end of it. Um, and you don't even have to credit them in order. You don't have to show their picture with their name on it. Um, you know, just something at the end, like I did at the end of the Days of Blue and Gray video. You know, I would like to thank the tourists of um, blah blah site, and then just list all their names on there, and you're good. Now, are you talking about are you talking about the museum and the Jesse James birthplace, or what are you talking about, Ty? Yeah, here is the asshole screwing up my shots. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'd actually label it that way on the video or not in case some of the assholes are watching. They may take a little bit of offense to that. Um, you know, you have to make assholes happy. Different states have various rules. Museums are typically sort of private. See, I done one of our local museums a couple years ago, and granted, I just walked in and asked the curator of the museum, you know, hey, I have a history channel. I'd love to film the museum and, you know, put it out there for folks to see. And he's like, sure. Do you need anything? I'm like, nope, I'm good. So, I don't care. Well, yeah, we know Tony don't care about pissing off buttholes. So, Remind made a joke about I should dress up, go back to Jesse James Bank Museum, act like I'm coming out of the bank robbing it, just like they did, and have somebody record it. I said no. Now, once again, this is one of those situations where you get the permission of the bank museum and say, hey, we're gonna film this little short intro deal for my video on the history of the museum, the James Younger robbery, things like that. I'm just going to dress up in some of my get up. I'll have a little cotton bag or something with a dollar sign on it or something like that, and I'll just walk out of the bank, have them film it, and you know, even if you want somebody to yell, hey, stop him, he's robbing the bank, you can go back in one of the offices and just film them saying that or yelling it. And then when it comes time to film that intro, you walk out of the bank and you stop and look both ways, and you can extract the audio out of that clip of them yelling, hey, stop him, he's robbing the bank. And you can lay it, you can extract it from that video clip and lay it right on there when you're looking both ways. You can have them yelling in the background. So, I mean, there's ways of doing it and making it look and sound really good, where you're not going to draw a lot of attention. I mean, you might have some people out there taking pictures and stuff like that, but that's the cool thing. That's why we do what we do. The cool factor. Do it. Just use rubber chickens, not a gun. John, howdy, howdy. For a little film video at the birthplace, but what she was talking, that would require permits. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know. It just depends on what she wants you to do out there. Once again, it's all based on what you're wanting to do, how disruptive you're going to be, how busy the birthplace is, things like that. A lot of times, dude, you can film, you know, like we film, where we have one camera on a tripod, or we have one person holding a camera and one person in the scene. A lot of times you can do that without permits. I mean, permits are there for larger productions. Productions that are going to disrupt the normal flow. You know, when you was at the birthplace the last time, you were the only flow there, so you wouldn't disrupt anything by filming, you know, a short little scene of you, you know, playing the part of, you know, Jesse, and you know, standing there by the front door with your hands on your suspenders or something and looking around, maybe do a little pan of the whole area right there where the farm used to be. You can get away with a lot of that stuff on a small scale, but when you're doing a large scale filming thing, that's when you need to worry about permits and stuff like that. I'm going to have to talk to that girl about some of her filming ideas. That's all there is to it. I'm going to have to talk to her about some of her filming ideas, and then more than obviously kick you in the ass and get you motivated and stop being a worrywart. Sounds to me like she's got some pretty good ideas. You can't be all timid and scared of you and shadow. Go do it. Do it to it. I was trying to mod two channels at once. I left the other channel so I can be here with my family. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you know, you could have kept right on a going with the two channels. I wouldn't have been offended if you was bouncing back and forth. Send her my way. We can get her straight on public filming laws. First Amendment. Yep, you always and see that's a little something something right there, Ty. That it probably wouldn't hurt you a bit um, to watch in your spare time on the platform, and that's places, channels that do like audit the audit and stuff like that. There have been more than one situation pop up where a person is filming um, a building like law enforcement headquarters or something like that, county sheriff, local, a fire station, a courthouse, um, and the police will come out and tell them they can't film there, and it's like, au contraire, I'm not on your property, I'm on the sidewalk, and that is a public building. As long as I am on public ground and I am filming a public building, you got no jurisdiction over me because I am breaking no laws. That's like it's all protected under the First Amendment, the same as videotaping a traffic stop. Um, I mean, if a cop pulls you over, you set your camera on the dashboard and you start recording. They can't do a thing about it. It is against the law. It is a stop. You have not committed a crime. You are on a public thoroughfare. Therefore, you have the right to film. It's all First Amendment. It all falls under the First Amendment. definitely talk to some of these guys like Sasquatch and stuff that do that kind of thing. They'll set you straight on First Amendment laws and everything. We're here for you, not your videos. Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. That's one of the reasons that I do the videos is because you guys are here. You know, I can't just sit up here and talk because, I'll be honest with you, I don't like looking at this punum. I don't expect nobody else to either. So, you know, I make videos and I try not to be in them. That way y'all got something else to look at. 35 of my 36 guests were First Amendment folk. Give them 15 feet, keep your feet in public, and your eyes can film anything. Yep. Plus, you've got locations on a federal level like national monuments, historic sites, things like that that are meant to be publicized. They're meant to be filmed, recording equipment, video equipment, things like that are meant to be utilized to share those things out. So you're good. You're good, dude, Leo. Don't worry about it. Oh man, I cannot wait. Oh, I'm so anxious for tomorrow night. The Winchester Mansion in Elkhart, Indiana. Like I said at the beginning, it was built in 1905 by Mr. and Mrs. Winchester. He was the president of the First National Bank. They had one daughter, and let me see here. Let me make sure I get her name right. I think it was Nellie, and she married a man named William H. Knickerbocker. And when he passed away, she was so fascinated by the beauty of his coffin, she went out and got herself one and set it in the foyer of the Winchester Mansion until she died and was put in it. And rumor has it that she is the one who haunts that mansion. She never wanted to leave that place. And even though it sat empty for multiple decades, no one ever broke in. No vagrants ever lived in there. Nobody ever came by and spray painted the walls. People give that place a wide berth because of the rumors of the hauntings and the contacts in there. It was on the market last year. Somebody bought it. It used to be multiple doctors' offices and living establishments for doctors and nurses. People bought it this last year, turned it into a single-family dwelling. And we're the first ones to ever get into this place. I can't wait. Shooting revolvers at the James birthplace. Now there, depending on the crowd and depending on whether or not you have a park ranger or something handy, they might let you shoot the revolver off. They might not. That just depends on how many other people, how many other tourists are there, especially now with everything happening in the world and groups of people being around when guns are discharged. So that might be your only deciding factor right there, is how many other people are there, and if the park officials, the park ranger, is willing to work with you on that because of you being a media creator. 90% of whatever you want to film is fine. 10% is their responsibility to keep private. If you happen to get some private info while filming in public, entity responsible for the info is in breach, not the filmmaker. Keep in mind, brandishing is a crime in Missouri. But once again, much like several other states in the country, are black powdered guns considered guns? In 42 states, black powder guns are not considered guns. Even felons can own them. They're considered replicas, not considered actual guns. So, it all depends on what the state rules are. Black powder are not firearms. There you go. I'll be right back, guys. Got to run to the outhouse. Or the in-house. Or whatever. Only I know where I've been. I'm a devil in the run, a six-gun lover, a candle in the wind. Hey. Hey, Drew. Good to see you. Sorry, not been around, busy with work. Pop any links you want out my messenger and I'll share. Got you, dear. Thank you, thank you. Plus, the transport of guns may need permits from state to state depending on the laws of the state. Arrested and released with charges dropped and possibly a lawsuit. They have Blaze of Glory from Bon Jovi playing over in the other bedroom, and thinking about Jesse James just kind of got that whole thing rolling. I gotta go be adulty. I'll be back. All right, Sasquatch, sounds good. Yeah, I'm a devil on the run, a six-gun lover, a candle in the wind, and then it goes into the whole. I know it's Billy the Kid. Nobody ever made a Jesse James song. Well, I mean, they did one, but I haven't heard it in 40 years, so I mean. All right, Drew. Yeah, I will send some videos up your way for you to share out. Appreciate it, love. Go get some sleep. I know it's late over there. You're 5 hours ahead, which means it is 10 minutes after 1 in the morning over there in good old Scotland. That song, Chris Christopherson, Dead Man's Hand. Well, like I said, a song I've not heard in a long time. Dead man's hand would be Hickok. Let me see here. One thing I do want to share is when I was down in Liberty, Missouri, day before yesterday at the bank, the curator mentioned somebody was there just recently, and they bought up and they brought up how they follow my channel. Oh, and he thought it was cool. Very good. That's awesome, bud. The ringtone on my phone is "Do What You Can." I use Firefly quotes for ringtones. Dude, I would love to find a Firefly theme for a ringtone on my phone. That was one of those shows that didn't get near the respect it should have, but it got a hell of a cult following. Hey, William, good to see you, bud. Glad you could join us tonight. Yeah, and I'll get them out. Let's get a chat on live about our Underground Railroad, my channel or yours. Sounds good, Drew. We'll get together and chat about it. Try to figure out what we can do. Always. Which always? Always from Bon Jovi, or well, who sang the other version? Definitely so. Yeah, if you can send those, I will. I'll find a way to utilize them on my phone. I'm a leaf in the wind. I know you are. I remember another song called Always from the 80s, and I cannot remember who sings it. I know it was mostly a girl group, teenagers, I think. But I don't remember who it was. There were so many little teenage girl groups in the 80s that I just don't remember. You know what the chain of command is. Yeah, I'm somewhat familiarized with the chain of command. I used to be a lot more familiarized with it. The way I figure chain of command, is anybody below me and then me. It's the chain I rut and beat you with until you know who's in command. There you go. That's it right there. Yeah, I was always a big Bon Jovi fan too, and I would absolutely positively love to see the band before they don't tour anymore. But I'm really afraid that Bon Jovi, in the years to come, with them all getting older, they're going to go in that route, that same route that Styx went in, and just touring around doing like state fairs and stuff like that. REO Speedwagon there for several years. They had a contract with Walmart. Whenever they done a superstore grand opening somewhere, REO Speedwagon would play. Um, I'm just afraid by the time I see him, it's going to be one of those situations. So here, just going to put some coffee on. I think his voice is gone. I don't know. It seems like not very long ago I actually heard him singing. I know right now he has John started a not-for-profit organization where he helps out people who are financially in need or need help with their education, or just depends. At least he's put his money to good use. But he also has several financial backers that help him. Thank you, Sonny. I thought so when I brought up I have a history channel, said the name, and she said someone was just in there and they're a follower of mine. That made my day. There you go. I've seen John sing recently. It makes me hurt. He has so much pain in his face when he sings. That's a shame. That is a shame. But I mean, Never Say Goodbye, back when they released that song, I mean, that was the epitome of their life. You know, singing in that smoky bar, the night about to end. I pass the time with strangers, but this bottle's my only friend. So, I mean, that's all those smoky clubs and those arenas that they sang in back in the 80s and early 90s before they quit allowing smoking and stuff in them. You know, breathing that stuff in when you don't smoke and when you depend on your voice. It'll really mess you up. It'll really mess you up. I heard clips from a few shows this year, and it was bad. But take that for what the internet is worth. Yeah. When he was young, he would get injections in his vocal cords. I think he's paying for it now. He used to smoke himself. Notification, Concord, Alabama, having storms, trees down, power outages. That's terrible. Do you know, Sonny, that Monday night when those storms hit down here in the south end of the state, I know you guys had it rough up there. I was watching the Doppler, and I mean, we were catching the bottom trailing edge of stuff, so here it wasn't that bad. But they tried to say we have a swatch of ground just 10 miles north of here. That's almost a half a mile wide where just everything is completely obliterated. Trees, houses, barns, fields. And weathermen are still trying to say that it wasn't tornadoes. They were trying to say it was straight force winds. But those straight force winds that they're reporting were in excess of 95 miles an hour. And we had, our grass barely moved here. But a half a block east of here, half a tree split in half basically. And half of it fell out in the road. They were just down there yesterday getting rid of the whole tree. I mean, it had a huge limb coming off the side of it, and it split right at the crotch in that limb and went all the way down to the bottom. So, I mean, half of the base of that tree was just obliterated. When we went out to the lake the other day, there was trees down that took down power lines and stuff there at the lake. Marcellus, Michigan. Uh, they had 95 plus mile an hour winds, houses, trees, garages, everything was destroyed there, but they're still trying to say there were no tornadoes. So, good night, Tony. Take care of yourself, bud, and we'll catch you first of the week. When he was young, he blew out his voice when he was younger for a while. It was around me, but I was good. And Ogama County, it's Tornado Alley. Yeah, it was really bad. Our sky turned green, and then it turned orange. Um, but the grass barely moved. There was hardly any wind at all here. I'll uh, I'll chat with her tomorrow. We'll see what we can do about getting you guys out this way before Michigan blows away or the next ice age sets in. Good night, Ty. We'll talk to you later, bud. Dragon, what's up? Not seen you in forever. Hope you're doing well. Dragon even called us wonderful people. Isn't that sweet? Been busy working. There's a lot of people doing that, man. I'll tell you what, with the way prices are going up on everything, you damn near can't stop working. I mean, you almost got to work around the clock just to be able to afford to live these days. Everything treasure. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good to see you. I don't blame anybody for working. I don't fault anyone. You know, I used to be the one that always said, play as much as you work. But quite honestly, with everything happening in the country and around the world right now, you damn near just got to just keep right on working. You can't stop. Just to be able to afford to fill up your car and feed your family. 10, 12 hours a day. Thought about getting a second job. Oh yeah, you still got 12 more hours to work with there. You got 12 hours just going to waste, not working. I mean, look at that. Oh yeah, I mean that's pretty much a given, and it's a recession that will probably end up turning into a depression, um, because it's going to come down to the point where you have all of these businesses that are going out and they're producing these items to sell, but people don't have the extra money to buy them. So, by printing so much money last year, and granted, this is only one reason for what's happened, and I made this announcement this morning that our country printed 80% of its money last year for the stimulus checks and things like that. And they got so much money out there circulating around that they're jacking these prices up on stuff because the government's in trouble right now. And you just the best thing to do, and I know this firsthand, the best thing to do if you're going to try to go out and buy groceries is get to your stores as soon as they open in the morning. As soon as the stores open, they put out all the manager specials on meat and stuff like that, that people go in, they buy up as soon as they get there. And with the way prices of food has gone up, these manager specials are marked right about where food was a year ago. So you go in there, you snag up all that manager special. The wife and I went to the store the other day because she wanted to make breakfast burritos. And we were just going to buy a little thing of sausage. And we went up there and we found 3 packages of 3 pounds each of pork sausage. And I think they were right about $4 and change a piece. So she spent right about $16 or $17 on 9 pounds of sausage, and brought it home and separated it up into 1 pound bags and put it in the freezer. So now we have 9 breakfasts right there. We found 8 pounds of ground beef, and it was on sale for right about $1.10 a pound. And she picked that stuff up and stuck it in the freezer in individual packs. So, she spent like $25 or $30, but in today's economy, got about $55 worth of meat. So definitely hit your grocery stores and look for those manager specials first thing in the morning, because they put them out before they unlock the doors. And it's going to be your first 4 or 5 customers that go in there and buy it all up. Used dough this morning when I went to the grocery. I bought 2 large packages of chicken, a package of pork chops, so we have meat in our freezer. We haven't had a depression since the 1930s. Oh, I know, believe me. Time I'll go. I get there when they open. Hello, having a great day. Mayhem, welcome. I hope everyone's having a great day, most definitely, and I hope you are too. It's Friday. How could you not be having a good day? It's Friday. It's Friday, and we have an awesome investigation coming up tomorrow night. As a matter of fact, 24 hours from now, we'll be a half hour into the investigation. I can't wait for this one. This one is, oh my goodness gracious. We have been so blessed this year, having so many good members on our team, between Mark, and Tommy and Danny and even Randy, going around and looking for these locations for us to investigate. Mark got the Morris Performing Arts Center for us. Very first time anyone's been in there to investigate. Tomorrow, we are going to the Winchester house in Elkhart, Indiana. The very first time anybody has been in there. to investigate. So thank you, Mayhem. I really appreciate that. I mean, that means more than you realize. It really makes me feel good getting the praise and the accolades and stuff, uh, especially from y'all. I mean, it does. Tomorrow I get to pick up 25 pounds of peaches from the peach truck. Oh, God, peaches. Peach cobbler. Homemade peach cobbler. Homemade peach jam. Homemade peach pies. The diabetic in me says, no, Drew, you shouldn't eat that. Well, the kid in me says, fuck the diabetic. I'm back with coffee. Thank God everyone is safe for a little bit. Candy has got her coffee. I'm gonna make homemade peach cobbler this weekend. I love peach cobbler. I love peach pie. I like peach preserves. I grew up where peaches don't normally grow. I mean, come on, what do you want? I'm an adult now. I, I like peaches. Candy, sounds like you need to visit Jan in a week. She'll have cobbler for the coffee. There you go. I have about 30 pounds of bacon in the deep freeze. I make breakfast for an abuse center on the weekends that I may have to do once a month now. Wow, that's very cool, Dragon. I didn't know that about you. Breakfast for an abuse center. Very cool. Very impressive. I always, when I lived in Indianapolis, um, the girl I was involved with had several friends that were homeless. And she introduced me to several of them in downtown Indy. And the week after I met them, I think her and I spent half a night putting together sack lunches. I went out and spent the money out of my own pocket buying loaves of bread at the bread store. You get them quarter, 50 cents a loaf. You'd go to like Aldi's or something and pick up packs of lunch meat and cheese and the little packets of mustard and ketchup and mayo and the little bags of potato chips and maybe boxes of Little Debbie snacks at the bread store. And we used to spend half a night putting together sack lunches for folks. And some days down there people were very giving. And some days people down there could straight up just go to hell. They didn't care about no one, including their own health and welfare, let alone some stranger on the street. And that was one of my most proudest, one of my most favorite times of my life, was living down there and every day taking sack lunches down to those folks that were just trying to make it by, just trying to get enough money to get a hotel room where they could get a shower and change their clothes and feel like a normal person once in a while. I miss doing that. I miss that a lot. I gotta help my sister on food for my niece's wedding next week. Very cool. Again, the old ways of weddings. It's called Cuppa Peach Cobbler because it has 1 stick of butter, 1 cup of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of milk, with 1 can of peaches and cinnamon to taste. Wow. That sounds very easy to make. I'd love to work in the soul kitchen. Nothing special, just something I do to keep me busy. Yeah, I can understand that, but in a way it is really special because you could be finding something to keep yourself busy that only benefits you. And you choose to find something to keep you busy that benefits others. And it's very special. It's very special. All of us have that ability to help others, and we don't always have the means, but we all have that ability. Takes only 1 pan to fix it because you mix it right in the pan. Now see, I could imagine that cup of cobbler with like some instant Quaker, with some Quaker oats sprinkled over the top of it and stuff with some brown sugar. Because see, the crust on the cobbler was always my favorite part. It's like my mom used to make coffee cake all the time. And there were times she would mix the cinnamon and the butter and the brown sugar all together to make the crust on the coffee cake. And I actually found a place that sells cinnamon icing. So when I make coffee cake, which I've not made in a long time, I put cinnamon icing on it, and then I sprinkle the little cinnamon, brown sugar, butter chunks in the icing. If you haven't got diabetes, it'll be knocking on your door the next day after you have a slice of this thing, because I make a cinnamon swirl cake to put all that stuff on. I think it would be rewarding to help feed those who can't afford their meals. Kind of why I'm in the ministry at church that puts meals together for parishioners who are ill or have had surgery. Very cool. Very cool. Oh yeah, that would be good too. I put melted butter and sugar on top multiple times as it cooks. I eat donuts with chocolate milk. Man, I've not had chocolate milk in so long. But in my defense, I don't do very much milk at all because since becoming diabetic, I also became kind of sort of lactose intolerant. I don't have, like, I don't have the gases issue up here. I don't really get sick from it. But let's just go as far as saying that Let's just go as far as saying that the wife don't like the exhaust pipe near as much when it's talking to her. And smells like I keep launching a cannon off on the property with windows open. Sulfur, rotten eggs, speed run to diabetes. It doesn't matter what size, canned, but fresh is always better. I love coffee cake. My mom always made the best coffee cake. I do miss that with her being 10 hours away. I miss her coffee cake. And one can of homemade ones will be just fine. I live in the land of peaches. Joined the ministry once I recovered from the concussion. Entire month of March, those ladies gave us some wonderful meals. Very cool. Very, very cool. Almost definitely pay it forward. Most definitely pay it forward. I've been a fond believer in that for a long time. Sasquatch says he lives in the land of peaches. Now, peaches and bells. Two things I would never associate together, being from any one certain area. I'll be damned. Peaches and bells. I live in the land of apples and grapes. But then again, when you have as many breweries and wineries and stuff as we do here, you need a lot of apples and grapes. There are grape orchards up here. For those of you that have never been to Michigan, there are grape orchards up here that literally just go. I mean, they disappear into the background, up into the woods and stuff like that. It's just it blows me away. The very first time I ever seen grape orchards up here in Michigan, it just completely, I was dumbfounded just looking at these rows, these vines going all the way back and disappearing over a hill like a mile, 2 miles back out in the country. And sometimes there's 200 or 300 rows of grapevines that are like 2 miles long, and then you go down the road just a little bit and you find an apple orchard that's just the same size. It just, I was blown away the first time I seen it. I didn't realize that there was that many wineries and stuff in the state of Michigan, but there are. It's the diabetic meds. My mom used to make a Swedish tea log that was a coffee cake. Very interesting. Now, I've never had a Swedish tea log before. Would that be would that be the kind where you take the real thin cake and you put the icing or the crumbly or whatever you want over the top of it, then roll the whole thing up? Would it be that kind of would it be that kind of tea log? What happened?